Okay, so the vlog for actually yesterday was supposed to be a tour of my vehicle or my car. But to be really honest, it's not that great. So I'm going to probably skip that. I don't know. I might give in and do it this weekend sometime if I get really, really bored. But instead, I found a thing called a Dialect vlog. A couple of blogs I follow did it. Ashley over at Hudson's Happenings and Polly from Enchanted Pixie. They both did it, and it's so funny hearing like the different accents, because Ashley's like a sweet Southern belle, and then Polly has like this really awesome British accent, which I'm totally jealous of. But I was going to do this with my husband last night, but I don't know, we ended up not doing it. So I just decided to go ahead and do it myself. I try so hard not to be, I've said it before, I try so hard not to be Southern, but it just happens anyway, no matter how hard I try. But the words you have to say, I have to say certain words, and then I have to answer certain questions. And it was so funny hearing what different people call, like, everyday kind of stuff. So the words I have to say are ant, root, wash, oil, theater, iron, salmon, caramel, fire, water, shore, data, ruin, crayon. I had to stop here and tell you, my husband says crayon, he says crown. In fact, I remember one time him asking where the crowns were, and I was like, crowns for what? And he was like, crowns. And I was like, I don't know what crowns you're talking about. He goes, crowns, like you color with. And I was like, you mean crayons? And he was like, well, however you say it, I say crowns. And the funny thing is Gianna has picked up on saying crowns. So when she says it, she says, I'm looking for a red crown. And it drives me nuts. I also think it's kind of funny, too, that, like, out of both of our, I don't know, ways of saying it, she picked up on his instead of mine. Okay, back to my word list. Toilet, New Orleans, pecan, both, again, probably, spitting image, Alabama, lawyer, coupon, mayonnaise, syrup, pajamas, and cot. Around here, a lot of people say mayonnaise, and a lot of people say spitting image. So I have to work really hard on not dragging up my words. And I've noticed that I tend to get what I call lazy with my speech when I'm around other people who are very Southern, or whatever you want to call it. To me, there is a big difference between having a Southern accent and having a redneck accent. You can have a nice Southern drawl without, I don't know, completely ruining words. Okay, answer these questions. What is it called when you throw toilet paper on a house? It's called rolling a house. What is the bug that when you touch it, it curls into a ball? That's a roly-poly. What is the bubbly carbonated drink called? Soda. What do you call gym shoes? Tennis shoes. Or tennis shoes. What do you say to address a group of people? Probably, hey y'all. What do you call the kind of cider that has an oval-shaped body and extremely long legs? Granddaddy long legs. What do you call your grandparents? I called my grandparents on my dad's side, called them Granny and Papa. And then my grandparents on my mom's side, I called Nana and Papaw. And all but one of them is living now, and she passed away in 2010. So when Gianna was born, I felt like we needed to pick like a whole new group of names. Like I didn't want anyone called the same thing because I didn't want her getting anybody mixed up. I didn't want her to get her grandparents mixed up with her great-grandparents. So Gianna calls her grandparents. Beej's parents are Grandma and Papa John. And then my parents are Pops and Janu. Janu came from the movie An Affair to Remember with, I think it had Cary Grant in it. It's what he called his grandmother. And that was one of my mom's favorite movies. But since we started calling her that, we've looked it up and we can't actually find that that's... We thought it was Italian for grandmother, but we can't actually find that, so we don't know if that was just a name they used in the movie or what, but Gianna calls my mom Janu. Okay, what do you call the wheeled contraption in which you carry groceries at the supermarket? I call it a buggy. What do you call it when rain falls while the sun is shining? I just call that it's raining while the sun is shining. What is the thing you use to change the TV channel? Beej and I kind of got, well, he was arguing with me a little bit because I've always called it a flipper. Because you flip through the channels with it. It's a flipper. He says I've always called it a remote around him, but maybe I've changed since being married to him. Maybe I started calling it a remote and just didn't realize it. But for the most part, when I think of the thing you change the channels with, I think a flipper. Hand me the flipper. So yeah. So I think that's it. Yeah, so I'm sure my southern accent came out in a lot of those. It drives me crazy. I'll just say it straight up. It drives me crazy when people call it salmon. It's salmon. And I hate it when people say caramel instead of caramel. I don't know why. But yeah, Beej laughs the way I say ool. It's more like a guttural sound, ool. It's like in the back of your throat somewhere. Yeah, and most of the time I call mayonnaise mayo. Not mayonnaise anyway. So anyway, that's it. Maybe later I'll decide to take you on a tour of my vehicle. It's old and falling apart. But it gets me where I'm going, I guess. So anyway, yeah, that's it.